for some reason, or that Eugene is not actually telling them the truth.
Also, I don't think Rick knows about Eugene. Why would he?
Yeah, you're right. He was pulled out. So in the timeline of this episode, it seems like they were in that car maybe an hour, right? Like they put them in that train car. There was a little bit of back and forth.
They had enough time to improvise the weapons, which took way less than an hour.
Yeah. And then they were pulled out of the train car and
well, we don't know how. That's the other thing. We have no idea how far away the shack was from Terminus, but it's probably not that far. Although a guy took a car out, so maybe it is a couple miles, but
maybe. Anyway, so I don't know what to make of that statement.
Yeah.
We'll talk to him, just not yet. But we'll see. I mean, I assume that's going to be an issue that they'll deal with in the next 7 episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
So back to then, Mary is thrown into the back of a train car by the face tattoo guy, and they take another girl out.
Did you hear that Gareth said it's okay, Mom? He called her Mom.
I didn't hear that, but you told me that after the fact, yeah.
Yeah, I looked it up on the Wikipedia, and it described the relationship. I'm like, huh? And then, yeah, they claimed that that's what he was saying. I couldn't really understand, and we didn't have...
subtitles?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that could be bad news for Carol, right? Because she killed his mom. So now if Gareth is going to have any kind of revenge, she's probably going to want it on Carol.
Sure.
So he promises revenge.
Although how would he know that Carol did it?
He wouldn't.
He's never even seen Carol, right?
No. So Gareth promises revenge on face tattoo guy and delivers the cattle line again that Mary told Carol.
Sure.
And then, we have the outro, some preview scenes from next week. And then we have Morgan.
A stinger. They've never done this before.
Yeah, I've never seen this. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. style. Morgan takes off his mask on the train tracks. He sees the Terminus sign, and there's some interesting symbol stuff carved into a tree.
He turned to audience and says, I want to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
Yes, exactly. You need some body armor.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to become Iron Man next season. I really think so.
Yeah. I like it.
Iron Man, coincidentally, one of my picks for the zombie apocalypse.
No, I believe Iron Man was one of my picks for
Boba Fett?
Apocalypse.
Was mine Boba Fett? Might have been Boba Fett.
Yeah. Good pick either way.
Sure.
Both of them pretty...
The armor really is what you want.
Solid, yeah.
I mean, the laser hands, that's kind of cool, too.
Should we do that? Should we link that in the show notes for people to know what we're talking about?
We can. I mean, it's an old episode. It sounds bad. It's a Blue Yonder episode we did years and years ago.
Yeah, we did a...
Where we took the top 10 picks? Top 5.
Yeah, we did like a rotisserie-style draft of where we just went and we could... I think the rules were you could pick any fictional person.
Mm-hmm. But they couldn't have superpowers.
Yeah, they couldn't be... no aliens, no robots, no superpowers.
Yeah, but you could get their kind of identifying... weapons or accessories.
Yeah, like something they would have on their person.
So Iron Man would have his suit, Boba Fett would have his armor and his gun.
Right.
That sort of thing. And we picked our top 5.
Sure.
And it was a pretty fun experience.
Yeah, I had a good time with it. So
sure. We'll link it in the show notes.
Sure, because it's hard to find elsewise. It's very hard to find on the net.
Yep.
We buried it. We've suppressed it.
And that's it. We just buried this episode.
All right.
I hope it's not undead, though. It'll come back on us. All right, let's get into some pimping. We actually have a sponsor this week, and it's a sponsor we have talked about before. A sponsor we both like. It's Audible. You can go to audiblepodcast.com/baldmove and get a free audiobook download when you sign up. They have a shitload of books. They have so many books, you won't be able to ever listen to them all.
Human lifetime is impossible.
I really think it is. I mean, the one that I would recommend just came out today, actually, is the 5th in kind of the Governor series. I mean, spoiler alert, the Governor is dead. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but the Governor dies in this universe. And it's Lily who has kind of taken over the compound of Woodbury, and they are trying to deal with like a super herd. A super herd has me endlessly fascinated because I want to know what the difference between a herd and a super herd is.
Sure, I like the zombies as ocean mechanic.
Yes, the running water of the zombie apocalypse. They meet some mysterious religious sect, and they have to deal with them. They're not quite what they seem.
Oh, I love religious sects,
as religious sects usually isn't. So I don't know. It sounds cool. It's the 5th in the Governor series. It's called The Walking Dead Descent. I'd recommend maybe you check that out because I think all of these people are Walking Dead fans here.
And if not, there's 150,000 other titles, including all of George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones series. Great way to get caught up in time for next season.
Yeah, all the bestsellers are out there right now. Like you got the Fault in Our Stars, which you know is a big thing. You got Gone Girl, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Check it out. audiblepodcast.com/baldmove. Get a free download when you sign up. What other pimping do we have to do? We have some contest we were doing, right?
Yeah,
I heard about this.
We got a contest. The same rules as we had for the ticket giveaway. Be a subscriber on Subbable, which is free, or get on Patreon and sign up that way. And if you're already signed up, you're still eligible. Okay, and you don't have to email us because we're just going to pick winners randomly. But if you want to be considered a winner, be considered for winning, get subscribed before the next Tuesday's podcast. So say noon on next Tuesday.
Yeah.
You're going to win your choice of Blu-ray or DVD editions of Season 4 of The Walking Dead.
Yep, you're going to win.
Which is loaded with the cool behind-the-scene features. And
also,
yeah,
he drops the F-bomb in that.
Does he?
Yep. They don't know who they're fucking with.
Awesome. So there's reason alone to win the contest.
Also, you get a Walking Dead t-shirt from our store. We have several of them, and you can check those
design, a Daryl design, a
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Badass. Or Crouching Redneck, Hidden Badass, I think.
Which is also featured on the cover of my book. That's pretty awesome. You also get what is it?
You get a Funko Pop figure.
Yeah, those are the kind of adorableized versions of The Walking Dead. Like, they just look cute.
I think everyone knows what these things are, right?
I think so.
There's
got them for Star Wars. They got them
out
for
there
the
now.
Avengers. DC's got them.
Yeah.
These little 6-inch tall doll-looking figures. And
so we haven't decided which one you'll get, but we're kind of open to suggestion, if you want one. Now, the Michonne and her pets one is probably not on the table. These big box sets of
the
stuff.
base-priced Funko
but yeah, you get
figures.
You can probably pick. We're not too picky on which ones you guys want. So the winner will get their choice, basically.
And last and most certainly least, a free copy of my ebook.
All right.
Walking Dead Survival Guide for Season 1. The unofficial Walking Dead Survival Guide.
Sounds good. So get those, get signed up for Subbable or Patreon before next Tuesday.
And we'll random select one of you each week, and we'll contact you, and you'll get your booty.
Yep. What are the pimping?
There's always Patreon. We talked about patreon.com/baldmove, subbable.com/baldmove. If you're scrambling for a Halloween costume, we got some ideas on Bald Move's site. There's a little banner you can click on to get to our costume ideas for Game of Thrones and for Breaking Bad and for The Walking Dead.
I have a Rick one that I've started. Not quite finished with it.
And best of all, you can get most of that stuff on Amazon. Offers free 2-day shipping for Prime. So you get that. Yeah. You can use amazon.baldmove.com to purchase that stuff and really help us out. Also, I think that's...
Yeah, we have other shows on our network too.
We got American Horror Stories that just started. We got Gotham Blotter Podcast that just started. We're doing Boardwalk Empire. I feel like there's one other thing.
Month of the Dead, baby. Month of the Dead.
That's what I was forgetting about.
That's right.
We're doing live playthroughs on Twitch TV/BaldMove of the Season 2 of the Walking Dead video game from Telltale Games. And we're having a lot of fun with it because the game is, like the show, ridiculous in places. And we are trying to make our characters be the biggest assholes and the biggest dicks to the other survivors that we can, as much as the game will let us. We're playing it all Shane style. So it's a lot of fun. We've been having a lot of people live watching with us. You can get the full archives on youtube.com/baldmove. There's a playlist just for that game. And it's a lot of fun. Also, movie reviews on Fridays.
Yeah.
Or Mondays and Fridays.
Wednesday and Friday, I think.
Or Wednesday and Friday. So you'll have a movie. Which movie review is coming out tomorrow?
I believe Diary of the Dead comes out tomorrow.
Boom. There you go.
No, not Diary of the Dead. That's already out. Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. Who'd you do that with?
With Jason from Walking Dead Cast.
Jason C.
Yep.
So that's exciting. I think that's it, though, now.
I think so.
Ready for some feedback now. We got a lot of it, and it's probably going to get better / worse depending on if you're hoping to get your feedback read. Probably worse. If you're me trying to cut something down into a format we can read, probably worse. But if you're
Wait, you said there was also a better scenario here.
Well, no. The more feedback we get, the more the cream rises to the crop. I mean, if we just get 5 or 6 emails, I have to read fucking every one of them, regardless of how stupid it is.
Gotcha.
I get 500 emails. You know, I can be choosy in my drafting.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's start off with Kinder C said, this was something I thought, a question that was kind of personal, but I thought a lot of people would benefit from. She says, hey, I love what you guys are doing and how it's expanded now that you're doing this full time. In that respect, I'm not clear on the logistics, but is it possible to start a complete Bald Move iTunes feed that literally just hosts every episode on the Bald Move network? I'm at present subscribed to 10 plus of your feeds, some for shows that aren't even on anymore, but I think, hey, they may post something eventually, so I say subscribed, which I'm very glad I did for the Breaking Bad. And in short, she's asking us, does she really have to carry a dozen separate Bald Move subscriptions, or can we please, maybe, pretty please, if it's technically possible, shove that shit into one feed?
It is, in fact, technically possible, and it is, in fact, already a feature of baldmove.com.
Little known feature.
Very recently, we actually surfaced that feature. So
yeah, we've had it for a while, that, you know, and people that have asked us, we've given it to, but we've kind of been a soft beta or soft launching it. But now you go to baldmove.com. If you click on the podcast link, it'll drop down a menu, and all of our current podcasts are on there, but you'll also see at the top all TV podcasts. If you click that, every TV podcast on the Bald Move network you will get access to, including Gotham, including Up Yours Downstairs. We're working on a separate culture or a lifestyle / humor / entertainment where we can get the other Bald Move family podcasts on there. But right now, the TV stuff is there. So subscribe to that and you'll get it all. It's the TV fire hose. Try to drink from it. So thanks for that, Kendra. Dane R. said, thoughts on cannibalism. Why is there one bin labeled feed as if it's going to livestock? You tie this elaborate fireworks network they have to redirect the walkers with this knowledge, and it's feasible to believe that they're piecing out people to set up a network of fleshy breadcrumbs for the walkers to follow away from Terminus. I see that as a day-to-day system and the firework as an oh shit plan B. Granted, they could be eating and doing this, and from the hanging bodies, I see it as highly probable. I guess that's, if you're trying to defend Terminus from accusations of cannibalism, it's interesting that they do have, I think the 3 bins were labeled clean, burn, and feed.
Yeah, it's burn, feed, and wash, but same thing.
Okay, burn, feed, and wash. But you got to explain why they're aging meat, why they're butchering it and hanging on hooks and
here's
leaving
the other thing. You're not going to lead walkers away with dead meat. They only
it's an attractant.
They are only attracted to living flesh.
Yeah.
Once that flesh is dead, they no longer give a shit.
I don't know that that's true in this series. How long does that have to be dead before they are not? It has to be like visibly rotting and smelling, right? I mean, we've seen them kill chicken and feed like, you know, recently dead things. And like Daryl's deer from season 1.
Yeah, I mean, I assume at some point while they're eating someone, they die, and they continue to eat. So
But they also go after things that have been, maybe they have to be still warm. Maybe they can't stink of death if it's the smell of death repellent theory.
I don't know because they're completely bled out.
Regardless, I don't think Dane, unfortunately, here is right on his theories. He also says he has a thoughts on our complaint about Glenn avoiding the bat knife combo. He says, I really think they should have made Glenn take a bat to the head. Then Daryl or Bob has to navigate with an unconscious Glenn over their shoulder. Think about it. Gareth wasn't talking to the bat-wielding dumbass. He was talking to the dumbass with the fillet knife. Yeah. Giving the dumbass a name and have Glenn unconscious with the blade to his throat before Gareth stops him to reprimand him for not counting his shells. I'm with Jim. This could have been more realistic. I kind of like that. Mm-hmm. If he actually was able to smack him upside the head and then Glenn was a body they had to drag throughout the confrontation.
That's a brutal shot. I might have had a problem believing that he could function after that.
I'm
like,
not saying his function.
To the base of your neck.
Oh, so you're saying that he would have done permanent damage?
Yeah, I don't know that Glenn would have recovered from something like that.
I don't know if that's fatal or not.
It's like you got to break a spine with that, right?
I don't know.
To separate your.
It's certainly knock you unconscious, and it depends.
Yeah,
he was hitting him pretty hard too.
He was winding up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but then maybe that would be cool. I think the logistics of it afterward are certainly cool.
Dane continues, thoughts on weapons retrieval. Did anyone else cringe as Michonne was coolly walking away instead of insisting that she get her sword? Were we supposed to believe that Daryl's crossbow was on that table and not the sword?
Right.
Granted, one of the Terminus people may be carrying it because, you know, it's fucking awesome.
The sword, yeah.
But I don't see Michonne being cool with leaving the weapon she so valued since the outbreak.
Yeah. Now she's got the double ender, but...
feel like they're setting it up for her to get that back in a badass way. Because I feel like that he's right, that somebody in Terminus is packing that sword. I don't think we've heard the last of the Terminus folk.
Yeah. I hope we haven't heard the last of the sword.
All right. Tara C said, okay, I'm thinking the X's she's referring to is the X trail markers that Morgan was investigating at the end of the episode. Has to be left by Bob. Everyone else has been together for the whole time except for him, who is mysteriously picked up all by himself, the sole survivor of his previous groups. The last time we saw Morgan, he was fucking nuts, all by himself and clear. Who left those X's, man?
I honestly don't know.
What if they're not X's or crosses?
Could be.
It's going to tie up with the, it'd be interesting to have Morgan fall in with whoever Beth is with. Because Morgan doesn't know Beth from anybody.
Sure, and we saw
vice versa.
The Red Cross style cross on the back of that car last season. Yeah, I honestly don't know who's leaving those. I've thought about it, but I can't figure it out.
Right on. David J. said, this isn't so much a spoiler, but I do hope they explore this whole you're either the butcher or the cattle concept throughout the season. I'm hoping that I did not leave a non-spoiler in the spoiler section. We'll see. What are you willing to do to survive? What are you willing to do to survive, Jim?
More than
my
Tyrese.
Butthole if it meant living another day?
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
Your butthole has no nutrition. Your butthole is where nutrition goes
My
to die.
butthole could keep a man going for at least 3 days.
No, not the hole itself.
It's like limbus spread, buddy.
The hole is nothing.
Oh, okay.
You have to eat the anus around the hole.
There you go. The whole anus assembly.
I would do more than Tyrese would do. I would definitely kill hostage Hat Man, for sure.
David J. continues, what are the limits of human morality with the context of zombie apocalypse? Jim's extends to a no butthole philosophy. This is something, somewhat the overarching theme of the series, but it's never been fully explored and certainly was botched with the governor plot. For this reason, I do think they should have suffered a mortal loss at the trough, someone we care about, perhaps Bob, to really hammer home the points. Glenn or Bob? Why not Daryl?
Why not Daryl?
Let's put a white boy in danger. And I think this season, I absolutely believe Daryl can die. So I wouldn't have thought that before any other seasons, but I actually will buy if they put him in danger that this might be the end.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I agree. I kind of think Dana's idea of having one of them getting brained at the bat was the way to go.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
Jesse S. said, thought it was a pretty great episode, very intense and suspenseful opening, and the episode rarely slowed down from there. I found the capture of the Terminus guy and Tyrese's reluctance to kill to be tiresome, though. My recollection may be incorrect, but after the Grove incident in which Lizzie was killed, Tyrese didn't appear again until this episode. If I'm correct, then this would mean his deep personal aversion to violence appeared and was solved in over an episode. It felt unearned, and I didn't like that it added anything to his character, or didn't feel like it added anything to his character, who we already knew was a big heart guy and wouldn't kill lightly. I agree, except for I do know they've established this aversion. They've just had him get over it by necessity. This is at least the third time.
Yeah.
And it is getting old, and they need to decide what the hell they're doing with Tyrese pretty soon.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully, they're flying straight from here on out. Jason said, totally agree with your instant take on the episode. The show decided to embrace the chaos, and every moment was extremely gripping. I didn't care for Judith in the series, but when the guy from Terminus wrapped his hands around her, I couldn't help but root for Tyrese to murder the fuck. I'm a huge fan of the comics, and the pacing of this episode is nothing short of what the comics do. Short and to the point, and I really hope Scott G can continue to deliver. The last time I remember writing to you was during season 2. I had nothing but praise for the Gimple and Lenny James after the episode Clear, so you know I can't wait to see what's in store for us. Totally agree, Jason.
Yeah, probably the most exciting part about the whole episode is seeing that Morgan is coming back.
And I like that, too. I think I said that in the instant cast, that this felt very comic book pacey.
Yeah.
And I like that. Mm-hmm. Peter from Toronto said, I know you hated the character, but I like the way they brought Sam, which is the...
Hat Man?
Bleach blonde, gimpy hippie. Mm-hmm. The gimpy. How they brought Sam back to the fold and actually felt a tad upset when they smashed his head and slit his throat. I did too, because it was a horrific scene.
Yeah.
Seeing humans butchered like cattle is disturbing.
Well, you're the butcher or you're the cattle.
I guess so.
Pick one.
Hef from the penthouse in his pajamas says, it doesn't seem like the Terminites have a great slaughter procedure. Were their bat to the base of skull method damage the victim's brain enough to prevent turning, or are they actually creating taint meat time bombs for the grill? So this is a technical question, and I guess it boils down to whether you believe that cooking can kill the zombie virus, the one that would actually cause... Because obviously everyone has a zombie virus, but a zombie's disgusting and can lead to septic shock if you eat rotten meat. Mm-hmm. So just don't eat rotten meat, cook it thoroughly, right? That's what we're coming down on. Yeah,
I mean, the only real problem with this comes in when you see how fast the walkers decay.
But if you just knifed into the brain, you solve that problem as well.
Yeah.
Because the zombie virus has to stay dormant in the brain until it can kickstart the cerebellum. So, but again, I just don't. I feel like you could probably kill a recently raised zombie and cook it thoroughly and eat it.
Probably. I mean, you're already infected, so why not?
He continues, am I the only one that expected to see Tyrese smash through the shack's wooden wall like the Kool-Aid Man to deliver the justified beatdown?
I thought he might come in through the roof.
I was thinking,
the grenade.
You mentioned the cardboard-covered walls. Yeah. I think that would have been super cool if he'd have just come through the walls like in Batman.
Yeah.
You just played through Batman Arkham City.
Yeah, you can punch down literal cardboard walls, right?
Yeah, or plywood, I guess is what they're supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah, do the takedowns.
Yeah, the problem with that is how the hell does he see where he's going to crash into? He might accidentally crash in and
Batman, he's got detective vision. Oh,
yeah, yes. But Tyrese, he could squash Judith accidentally.
He's got T-vision.
Like he comes raging in, he picks up that little carrier, smashes it on the ground, she's done for.
He's got T-vision. When he gets enraged, he sees assholes as a red ringed image through walls.
A lot of callbacks in that sentence.
Jimmy D said, I hope every Terminized asshole gets eaten alive by walkers. I'm not really interested in seeing any more Terminus people or flashbacks. I'm much more interested in seeing the group make their way to Washington for this bullshit cure. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm not buying Mullethead's bullshit. If he was that much of a genius, I don't think he would have shot an AK-47 in the direction of a gas tank, which is his only source of transportation. Also, he would be a little bit more scientific. I'm just saying, I think Carol's going to be the one to call his bluff, but I may be wrong. What do you think there? Do you agree with Jimmy? Is Carol going to call some bullshit?
That'd be nice. Yeah. If Eugene is in fact a liar, I want to see him put in his place. I want to see that mullet chopped off and put around Daryl's neck as a souvenir.
Ashley H. said, hey, guys, just watch the Instant Take. Don't know if you watch the Comic-Con panels, but over the weekend, Scott Gimple discussed why he decided to go with the stealth F-bomb. Decided not to go with the stealth F-bomb last season. Because it's the very last thing you hear in the entire season, he felt that having to drop that word in the middle of the sentence would have been odd. You're wrong! They went through every iteration they could find to find a way to say it, but in the end, he basically just went with the less shitty option. So maybe we can put that debate to rest. The FCC sucks. I don't know, man, because I've seen both ways, and the stealth F-bomb is way fucking cooler.
Yeah.
It's way
cooler. Yeah.
It's not as crappy or way cooler. No, which sounds better?
They just made the wrong call. They made the wrong call on that. I'm sorry.
Anyway, Ashley said, enough of that bullshit. I've got some question for you guys. Pure speculation, and maybe this belongs in the spoiler section. Hopefully I didn't fuck it up, because it's not. Do you think Tyrese actually killed the guy in the cabin? I feel like he didn't let Carol go in because he couldn't go through with it, and I wouldn't be surprised if Chewing Gum Guy comes back with Gareth while they're on the road. Would that piss you off? Because I have a kind of a problem with the writers making Tyrese a total dumbass, and I fear that's where it's going. Couple parts of this.
So Okay, do I think he killed him?
Yes.
Yes, I do think he killed him.
I'm 50-50 on it.
Because if not, he's straight up fucking lying to Carol. He's straight up lying to Carol, and he's faking a change of heart.
Carol
as well.
straight up murdered his girlfriend.
Fine, but he is...
Good guy Tyrese?
Like, how manipulative do you think Tyrese is? Because that's a fucking manipulative thing to do. He's lying to her face and faking like he had this change of heart all of a sudden. It's a very different Tyrese than the guy I see.
I don't think he's manipulative, but I also think he could hide things. That's different from being manipulative. Hiding because you're ashamed that you he's talking to a woman that slathered zombie guts up and single-handedly brought down an entire compound that Detroit douchebag has been building up as this efficient killing machine.
Uh-huh.
And he's going to tell her I couldn't kill this fucker?
Yeah. No, right?
Or
he already told her I couldn't kill a walker.
Or again, it could be that this is a scene from Hannibal in there, and he's just fucking gone savage with the shit.
Yeah, bodies in pieces in there.
Yeah, so it could be that too, because you notice that like he impaled a walker head on a stake and left it alive, probably so it'd still make noise. Mm-hmm. He took all that shit down. The evidence of his savagery before they got there too. So maybe he's a little embarrassed about how far he gets into these rages.
Maybe, but the way so when they approach, he's kind of out on the porch already with Judith. You would think he would be frantically scrambling around trying to maybe clean up the carnage if that were the case, right?
Well, I mean, he did say to zombie. I mean, I don't know. I was just playing little devil's advocate, but I'm 50-50 on whether...
I'm 100% that he killed that guy.
I will be 100% pissed, though, to answer your question directly, Ashley, that if he did leave him alive, because they need to stop that shit.
Yeah.
They need to stop that shit. Scott Gimple, are you hearing me? Tyrese needs to understand that he's a badass that can occasionally hurt people to protect the innocent like a little baby. Yeah. And if you can't write the character to be like that after 3 or 4 times of trying, then I'm going to hate him. And I don't want to hate Chad Coleman.
Yeah, and that's the change
He's
of
one
heart.
of my favorite likable guys in acting right now. Don't fucking take me there.
No, it's the change of heart that he is describing to Carol. That is exactly what you are describing. It's also that butcher or cattle sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you go to the trouble of setting up a theme throughout an episode and then having a character defy that.
Right on.
By lying about killing someone.
Right on. Nathan P. said, the big problem, Rick is completely right in arguing to go back and finish off the Terminus, folks. Think about all the loose ends that would eventually come back to harm the group. Merle kidnapped Glenn and Maggie. The governor comes back to kill Herschel. Who's to say they won't be back again? And we obviously know that they will. The line, they'll either run or die, is used. Did this group not just escape from a zombie-infested, tank-destroyed, flaming prison? Mm-hmm. That's Exhibit A. Why would you not go back and make sure those cannibal torturers stay dead? Hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
They're leaving this place no less or more wrecked than the prison was, and we know they all survived. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. I think Rick was right. You had him right where you want him.
Sure, I'm with Rick too.
You cowboy up and you pick them off as they try to leave.
And they're pretty despicable people. So
sure, and then you loot their shit. They got a lot of good meat laying around them.
A shitload of stuffed animals.
It's just gonna go to waste. I'm just saying.
Oh my god.
Mary, a.k.a. Bubba.
Feed it to Judith. She won't know the difference.
Meat-flavored baby formula. I have a rather offbeat theory regarding Morgan's return. What if Morgan's actually a member of Terminus? Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, shit.
Do you recall the gum-chewing, sadistic, baby-threatening cabin douche that he said that he and other spotters had been setting off the fireworks to distract the walkers from the gunfire? Mm-hmm. Well, perhaps by some ridiculous twist, Morgan had become a member of the Terminus folks and was indeed out on the reconnaissance team, only to discover on his way back that his group was destroyed and there was no sanctuary left. Pretty out there, right? That's my crazy contribution.
Sure, I suppose that could happen.
It could happen. It would be a radically different Morgan. I mean, Morgan's a broken person, and Morgan is a crazy person. I don't know that Morgan is a bad person, and everyone in Terminus turned bad.
Is Morgan a cannibal?
I don't want to think he is.
I don't either.
So, I don't know.
I felt like the talk that he had with Rick and Clear actually did him some good as far as his mental state. And then maybe he might not be as crazy anymore. He's come to terms with some things.
Oh, he's still walking around Georgia dressed like the fucking Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy.
We talked about that before the cast, I think.
We're going to talk about it again.
So he doesn't get his face chewed on.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a skiing mask.
No, it was a hard plastic or rubber mask, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I thought it looked to me like it was just something you'd wear when you're snowboarding. Well, anyway, Spencer from KC said, it's so nice to see Carol kicking ass. In the comics, Andrew was a total badass, and it seems like they're sliding Carol into that type of role. I actually think Carol at the moment is more similar to comic Andrew than Andrea ever was. Totally agreed. At the end of the episode, it seems like Abraham and Eugene are going to speak to Rick about something, presumably about the fact that Judith is a liability, judging by how uncomfortable they looked when they saw her. Did you take that look as uncomfortable? I took that look as confirmation that they're with good people.
Huh.
Because they didn't know, right?
I didn't put two and two together on that scene, them noticing Judith. But I think if that's where they were going, maybe?
I think they show up and they see them all hugging and they're reuniting about this baby and they're like, these people must be good. But
maybe. They also made a point of saying what an anchor this baby is. This episode. So if they're going with that theme for the future, maybe that could be pawned off on Abraham and Eugene.
Could be.
Rosita.
I mean, it's a opinion I share with the Terminus people uncomfortably enough. Can't wait to see Rick kill Gareth with that fucking machete. I hope he gets to go Ramsey Bolton on him.
Yeah.
Flayed men hold no secrets. Noel W. said, major thought for me, I don't want to get all philosophical, but for me, the major thought I'm left wondering is how culpable are the periphery staff of Terminus for what went on there? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending them, but it's a bit like when people discuss World War II and ask how much were the ordinary German people to blame for the atrocities of the Nazis. Feel free to leave that last part out if you... Well, shit. Well, nope, you're getting red. You're Nazis. You're no Nazi sympathizer, Noel. We've already got you tagged. But I suppose the point is to hear the girl at the end who is clearly being taken to be raped say, please, no, not again. It did make me feel kind of bad for her, despite the fact she's part of a cannibalistic tribe now. Okay, Jim, what say you? Are we supposed to feel some sort of sympathy for the Terminus folk?
Yeah.
Compare and contrast that to Nazi-era Germans. I'm curious to see what he's going to have to say, actually, folks.
It's so the comparison that she makes is a little different, right? These Nazi-era German folk, as you put it, were not necessarily the Nazis. Like, she's saying, like, the citizens around all that shit that happened with the Nazis.
Yeah, I guess like the people in the towns around the concentration camps, you could argue that they were perhaps being willfully ignorant, but I think that there's a lot of Germans that had no idea. Because, you know, don't forget, America ran POW in concentration camps.
Sure.
And we weren't, you know, throwing Japanese Americans in the ovens, okay? Yeah. I think just because you do something relatively controversial in wartime, like round up a group of people that you think are troublemakers, in the Germans' cases, Jews, homosexuals, gypsies, etc. In our case, it was Japanese Americans. I don't think that you can necessarily say, oh, they're probably exterminating them and shoving them in ovens and all that. You know, I think the majority of Germans probably thought they were work camps. That's different from...
Potentially, yeah.
If every German had a hand in shoving bodies in ovens...
Sure.
Or pulling gold teeth out of corpses.
Yeah.
And turning skin into lampshades and paper and shit. That's a lot different argument. And it felt like all these people were part of this rotation. Like even the kitchen crew, there was their first time working the gun rotation. Mm-hmm. But they clearly were old hats at the actual butchery.
Sure. And I mean, there's kind of... You can't really say that because someone became bad, they were never to be pitied, or they were always bad.
Sure.
Like,
even Hitler was an innocent at one time.
That's the thing. Like, these Terminus people at one time were the tortured people who were, you know, not doing anything terrible. Those are the ones
actually
that
doing something good.
Feel bad for. Yeah. Now, once they, I can even see them busting out and killing the people who had held them captive and tortured them, certainly. To then say that all of that excuses their actions as cannibals and luring people in actively to murder them and eat them, that's not true, certainly. So there's a distinction between who they were and who they are now. That's the then and now of this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of look at it like they're rabid animals. It's tragic that they're in the state that they are now, but you also can't feel so sorry to the fact that it paralyzes you from dealing with the threat that they pose. You got to put down Old Yeller. You got to put down Gareth. Hopefully with a red-handled machete.
Yeah, and I think they're bad people now, but not necessarily then.
Jack K said when Glenn implored Rick to open one of the containers as if this is what we do and the subsequent wacko came out, I think Glenn changed after that. Like those in the Sanctuary, I think those in Rick's group will adopt the standards of the Sanctuary group, but not the gourmet ones. I think I just saw a change in Glenn's character. Do you think this is going to lead to a further hardening of Rick's crew? I mean, obviously not to the extent of the butchery, which is I think what he meant by the gourmet, but...
Yeah. I didn't see that change. And in fact, later in the woods, Glenn is one of the people who doesn't want to go back. Although, they just escaped. So
I was gonna say that's a self-preservation
move.
I don't
not
think
necessarily nice.
I don't think that anyone had a moral objection to doing it. It's more like,
we don't
really
want to get back in that situation.
Yes.
Sure. Maybe I just didn't pick up on it.
Okay. Stephen M. says Rick being a leader in the comic series, the only thing I can say, being a reader of the comic series, the only thing I can say about Rick is Andrew Lincoln's performance. What an amazing job. After seeing this episode, I cannot think of anyone else to portray Rick better than Lincoln.
Yeah, it's good.
Hard to argue that. He really played a savage guy who still also is believably tender with his daughter and son and Carol.
Yeah.
I wish the AMC would allow the show to go over the 1 hour mark to allow more time to tell the story. I would have loved to see more with the then Terminus story that bookmarked the episode, as well as the time with the gang in the train car. I would have loved a good 15 minutes of Rick and Abraham leading discussions in a train car of what they've been doing instead of a 3-minute montage.
Would have really slowed down the episode.
Yeah, my thought is I like extra time when it makes narrative sense. And I kind of dislike having to fit everything into 45-minute chunks. But I don't think AMC would hold to that. And also, this is a unique show in that it's split up into 16-episode seasons. It arguably has some of the most time already to develop plots. And in fact, they get to take a nice break in between shooting to... tweak the writing and get everything just right. So they already have a lot of advantages. I don't know that they necessarily need more time. If they needed it, I would hope AMC would give it, and I think they would.
And I think you're going to get more of Gareth and his crew. I don't think the then is over yet.
Sure. And also, you got to say, you'd rather have him leave you hungry than feeling like you want to throw up. So.
Yeah.
Mr. Rock in Rock says the MacGyver... He didn't like this episode so much.
Okay.
Said the MacGyver montage of the gang girding up for battle was really awesome. Metal zipper teeth sawing through rotting wood. All right. Rotting wood sawing through industrial strength plastic cuffs. What the fuck? That would have been a useless whittling exercise, if anything.
Right? That's exactly what I thought.
But yet you didn't call bullshit on it. Are you slipping, Jim?
I thought I did in the instant cast.
Oh, maybe you did.
I think I might have.
Maybe you did. But yeah, I mean... Yeah, for every time they've launched a firework and exploded propane, you got them using sharpened rotted wood to saw through a plastic tie.
Right. And now Michonne is using that same sharpened rotted wood as a sword.
Yep. And another one, he had a bunch of points. Some of them we've already talked about. Some of them I don't think we have time to. But he says, I'm glad they revisited the zombie camouflage tactic from season 1. However... the complete efficacy of that disguise with the smattering of zombie blood in the muddy face, a throng of zombies zips past her and makes a beeline toward a human approximately 50 feet away. These aren't predators with keen hunting senses or the predator with an infrared hunting goggles. Again, what the fuck? I feel like I kind of feel him on that.
Nah, I didn't have a problem with it at all.
But the show's like, well, as long as it doesn't rain, you're cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's kind of like a show science thing, so you either have to go with it or not. I actually have what I think is one of the funnier parts of my book, where I break down the zombie guts, camouflage, and the rain and interaction of that.
Nice.
So, plugging in the book.baldmove.com. Tom in Volkswagen said, I followed the Facebook thread during the live watch. Many people posted about the tension they felt as they watched me, where Glenn, Rick, and Daryl were on their knees facing the slow-moving James Bond laser beam, butcher knife, baseball bat wielding Terminusers. I had no fear. It was so predictable it was funny. A massive fail. A lot of plot on this show happens on cue. When you least want a walker, one will appear. When you most need to have a bureaucratic asshat asking how many shells you used, one appears. When you most need to sneak up on a lone moron with a box of fireworks, spilling the beans about the imminent demise of your friends on a walkie-talkie, hey, one appears. However, when the dude had his hands on baby Holly, I mean baby Judith, my muscles grew tight, my vision blurred, I lost the ability to speak. That was tense. I was completely blindsided by the evildoer threatening baby Holly, I mean baby Judith. I think the writers should exploit this device as much as possible. I think Tom might be being sarcastic.
Oh, you think so?
Because when I copied and pasted it, I didn't. But when I'm reading this now, it reads like he's mocking the whole baby endangerment.
Could be, although the first half of his email, I feel, is deadly serious.
Sure. But he says, overall, not bad by Walking Dead standards, 8 out of 10. After all, walkers were on fire.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for?
Literally.
Blair in Utah said, hey, longtime listener, first-time emailer. In the instant take, you were talking about the gore factor, specifically about AMC greenlighting the full frontal throat slitting. You were wondering why they wouldn't show the body dismemberment straight on, but instead showed us a blurry vision of it from Rick's vantage point. I'm not convinced this was censorship. I think it was an aesthetic decision to keep the viewers in the frame of Rick himself. When they were pulled in the train car, we as viewers were passed out. When Rick awoke and then got curb stomped, we blacked out with Rick again. This is director's way of keeping us in the viewer to head of the protagonist more than an AMC being a squeamish issue. I would buy that.
Yep.
But also it's very convenient that as they panned over to people actively butchering a human body, it got blurry. And then as soon as the camera left off, it got sharp again.
Yeah, it gets blurry on the bins. I don't know.
It's arguable either way.
I think he's right.
Ben G said, is there a Bowflex stashed in a corner of train car A? Michael Cudlitz from last season to this season is kind of like a contestant before and after Naked and Afraid. I didn't think he looked that much more cut. I thought he looked fairly kind of doughy, tough guy that he did last season.
Yeah, I don't remember him exactly from last season.
I don't think he got a personal trainer for this role. I wish he would, because I think he could be a bit more of a hulking badass, but...
Sure.
Frackin' T said, one thing I noticed was that Rick lost some cred in this episode. After they all escaped from Terminus, he insisted on going back to finish them all off. He turned to Daryl last, and you could tell that Daryl's about to shoot him down, but right then Carol and Tyrese showed up. Carol's mere presence in the group is a challenge to Rick's authority, as he is the one who banished her in the first place. Imagine if you tried to enforce his law now, he'd be laughed off and maybe even cast out himself. If he's a big enough dick about it. Do you agree? Rick stock is at an all-time low.
Man, I kind of do agree. I mean, he did help everybody escape this episode. So I feel like they've got to value that.
About a third of this group is pissed at Rick for some reason or another. A third of them are obviously loyal, and a third of them don't know him from Adam.
Yeah.
So you could have a Carol-tocracy.
And everyone is kind of not on board with Rick wanting to go back and get freaky on these guys, right?
No, and I think there's various reasons
they've got to
for
be
that,
questioning his judgment a little bit there.
No, yeah, you're probably right.
So, maybe he's not.
That's all we got for feedback. We still got quite a few spoilers in the spoiler section. If you'd like to give us more feedback, watchingdead@baldmove.com. Bring it strong, get it in early, because the rules are I take the first unique take, and I take the funny and the interesting ones. A lot of people, I think I read almost everybody's here, but it gets tough, when 4 or 5 people make the same point, you got to go with one of them. So
now you're setting up an impossibility here. What is it? You can be fast, funny, or smart, but you can't be... Pick two, yeah.
Yeah,
can't be all three.
That's the Bald Move law of feedback.
Okay.
We're ready for the spoiler section. Until then, again, get the feedback to watchingdead@baldmove.com. Follow along on our live Facebook feed on facebook.com/baldmove. I think you're stooping to live tweet for for The Walking Dead this season.
I did some tweeting. Yeah, I did
there
some
tweeting.
There you
go. So follow that at Bald Move on Twitter.
Mostly during commercials.
And there you go. We're ready for
Eugene scenes.
Anytime the mullet appears,
you
pick up your cell phone. Let's get to spoilers, man. Cue us some music.
Sounds good. Thanks everyone for listening. I'll see you next week. Until then, I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron. See ya.
We're back with the spoiler section. Do we have a lot this week?
Fair bit, I guess. Michael McBee said, question for you, Aaron, mainly. Do you think they will take Morgan's character to the same place that they did in the comics with his complicated relationship with Michonne?
Yes, the answer is definitely yes.
P.S. Thank God that Low Winter Sun was canceled so he could come back to The Walking Dead.
I have no idea what he's talking about. What complicated relationship with Michonne?
So he comes back in the comics.
On?
I think it's because Rick said, hey, I got to go back and get this guy. And everybody kind of bitches and moans because it's quite a way out of their way. It's like way out of their way in this storyline. But he makes them. And then we find out, go back to Morgan's and finds out Dwayne has been turned. And they talk him into joining a group. And Michonne and him have some attraction. And they get freaky. But then Morgan freaks out and says, hey, I need to take this slow. And, you know, he's got this PTSD and trouble, you know, forming relationships with people, but Michonne's kind of patient with him, and they have a little bit of a love affair. I think there's a lot of untapped potential in here because there's the plot line in that they still haven't gone to in the comics where Carol gets into a inappropriate relationship with Rick when Lori was still alive. And Rick has to put the kibosh on her. And also that Tyrese and her had a sexual relationship. He was like, you know, using her as a steady pump. Then Michonne joined the camp, and Tyrese is all like, yeah, you know, you got Carol versus Michonne. I'm going to go with the, you know, and Carol was still just kind of the wallflower.
Sword, yeah.
So he got on with her, and she felt rejected that, and she fed herself to a zombie. She found a female zombie and like tried to have a lesbian scene with her, and it worked. It went badly. The lesbian is all too happy to munch her carpet. Let's put it that way, or the zombie.
Wow.
So, I think it would be interesting, and I don't know that they could do this with Carol now, but there's kind of a love triangle already, like between Daryl and Carol.
And
Daryl also had a definite attraction with Beth.
Yeah.
Also, Carol was alone with Tyrese. They kind of bonded. Maybe they could put them back together as an item, and then he rejects her for some reason, or I don't know. I feel like that is a strong possibility to have someone's fragile mental state being rejected in a relationship in this tight-knit group and how they deal with that. That's definitely something they could do. Maybe they can explore it with Morgan and Michonne. Maybe they explore it with Carol and Daryl. But I feel like that's something they could do.
Sure, I'm not certain that they could do it with Carol anymore. I feel like she's not in a fragile emotional state.
That's what I'm saying.
Like she's such a cohesed badass now.
No, yeah, I wouldn't buy it for her to fall apart. But I'm thinking maybe Tara.
Oh, there we go.
You know, because Tara forms fast attractions with someone, and maybe someone will give her the wrong idea, and she'll go for them, and then she'll get rejected and feed herself to a zombie. Maybe Rosita. I don't know. That's a possibility. It could also be a man. It could be fucking Morgan.
Yeah. It could be Morgan.
Because he's fragile as hell.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But no, I think that so definitely that is a wide open possibility, and I think that they should explore some of these now. And not in like the only time they've really done it was like the love triangle between Lori, Shane, and Rick, and that was problematic because it just stretched on for too long.
Yeah.
And I didn't buy a lot of premise, and there's a lot of wishy-washy crap. But they could make a nice, tight, compelling storyline there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Marquis said, I haven't thought about Eugene's storyline. Setting aside for the moment whether TV show Eugene may be on the up and up, there were some hints that maybe Abraham and Rosita don't actually buy Eugene's story. Mm-hmm. Their little back and forth, should we tell them, might indicate that long ago they figured that Eugene was full of shit. Why would they keep up the farce? Maybe because it works as a great defense for them. Hey, strangers, no, you don't want to kill us. This guy can stop the Walker plague. And maybe because they know Eugene is a sad sack and they don't want to hurt his feelings. Eugene seems pretty emotionally unpredictable. Maybe they'll worry he'll freak out and go into harm's way if they were exposed. But mostly I think it's because getting Eugene to DC gives them a purpose, even if it's one they think is 99% likely to be bullshit. I like the defense line. Like, that doesn't work on a Negan type. It doesn't work on a Joe type. It doesn't work on a Governor type.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people saying, hey, we're escorting this guy, this curing the zombie plague, might very well be a good play to have in your playbook.
Sure. I like the epic nature of their journey as well. It's really cool. It feels like Game of Thrones-esque, escorting this one person who needs to survive across the landscape.
One last thought. Why did Morgan take off his mask? Yeah, we know a lot of Lenny James did.
To let us know that it's Morgan.
So we'd get all excited to see him, but I think Morgan wouldn't expose himself without any reason. It was an annoying offbeat in a stellar premiere and had me wondering how that story will go.
Good point.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to take his mask off. He's been traveling with it on. Why not keep it on?
Plus, why not keep it on and just keep us in suspense who the fuck it is?
Ooh. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Obviously, it's the Star-Lord. Nathan P. said, note on foreshadowing. Oh, before we get to Nathan P., I actually want to talk about this in the top of spoilers because I got a lot of feedback I did not read of people saying crazy face tattoo. That I don't think people made the connection that the guy, the rapist in the boxcar, was the same guy that they let out of the boxcar who had the long hair and a crazy facial tattoo.
Because it's so dark, you can't really see his face tattoos.
And a lot of people also were, because he looks superficially like the comic book character, saying that's going to be Negan.
Yeah.
I don't
referencing his hairline. For God's sake, they're looking at the man's hairline saying, this is this character.
Yeah. What about the facial tattoos? So here's the thing. I don't know why, but Kirkman took to Twitter immediately and squashed it all.
Now,
why
could
would you
be
do that?
Fucking lying.
He could
There's
be
that
fucking
possibility,
lying.
and he wanted to squash it immediately.
But it also, then, if that's true, Negan got killed in this episode.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's lying, and I'm surprised that he jumped to Negan's defense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Negan.
I don't know. I mean, what if they want to do a storyline from then with Negan? Is that interesting at all, or does it have to involve the main crew?
I don't know. I mean,
could they endear us enough to the original, to how the original Terminus people were, to where we care enough about them that Negan's storyline becomes effective when they're put in peril?
Well, the way we instantly cared about the Negan storyline is Negan was like a competent governor, and he was introduced by beating Glenn to death in front of everyone.
Yeah.
With a baseball bat, which is why a lot of people were I think a lot of comic fans were digging the whole endangerment of the baseball bat because it was like, oh. And I think that there's going to be a similar scene. I think Negan's going to I think he's going to beat Daryl to death, honestly. Because that's Rick's get out of anything free card. You got a tank rolling on you, Daryl will stop it.
Yeah.
You got 50 zombies coming at you, Daryl will stop it. You got a psychotic brother, Daryl will stop him. I mean, he's just a trump card, right?
Yeah.
So what better way to introduce a badass and really put some shit into the pants of viewers than have him get the drop on and beat Daryl to death in front of the entire crew?
Yeah. Yeah, especially if it's in a jarring way.
Glenn would work for that
audience.
too. I'm just saying that Daryl would work to the nth degree at that.
Yeah, I agree.
Nathan P. said some foreshadowing notes about the series intro that you talked about up front, Jim.
Yeah.
On the title sequence, Stephen Young is now, or Yoon, is now his name is now displayed entirely in front of a pocket watch.
Yeah.
Also in the opening, Glenn is next to be killed by a man wielding a bat. The man begins to swing once, but it's stopped by Bob's muffled shouting. Later, he swings again and is stopped by gunfire. Maggie is also later shown holding the same pocket watch and uses it to help get a weapon. Somehow, I don't see what she was doing. She was cutting out wood with it or something. These are my thoughts. The fact that Glenn was swung at so early in the season to me says that Glenn will either die at the half-season finale, not likely, or at the actual season finale, very likely. The pocket watch seems to imply a sense of impending doom, his time running out. It also could be a good on a symbolic front. Glenn's group is captured, and he's nearly beaten with a bat in the season premiere. At the end of the season, the group is once again captured. Glenn is killed with the bat, and the Negan arc can start for season 6. I don't know if the intro has anything to do with that.
Yeah.
But I do like the cut of this jib in general.
Okay. I mean, I could definitely see Glenn dying this season. It seems almost inevitable that either he or Maggie or both will die very soon. I just don't think the intro has any bearing on the story for these characters.
All right, last one. Are you ready?
Yep.
Edwin C. said, another comic reference I saw was the questioning of Eugene's cure. In the comics, it's revealed he's actually a science teacher, and he used a cure as a way to get people to keep him alive.
Okay.
But it looks like they might go the opposite way in the show, or he's just really a good liar. Next week's episode looks like will be a lot like the issue with them meeting Gabriel and arriving at the church. I wonder if one of our characters are in trouble because at this point in the comics, Dale, who's still alive, gets bitten by a zombie and goes off into the woods to die when the hunters get him and start to feast on him until he informs them that they're eating contaminated meat. They then decide to use him as bait and dump him outside the church while firing on it. If this happens, then hopefully we get something like the awesome badass conclusion that the Hunter story arc had.
Can I ask you what the contaminated meat implies in the comics? Do people die from that?
Well, this was very early on, right? This was just after prison, and at the time, they did not know that everyone was infected and everyone came back.
Fine. Did anybody die from eating the contaminated meat?
No, because they immediately died from Rick's gun group's bullets.
Okay, well, never mind.
But it did, like, because in the comic they cut off. They did a very dairy farm type of strategy from the Walking Dead video game, where they cut off one of his legs, and they were keeping him alive, and they were just going to slowly eat his limbs. And he came to, and they were like, saying, "That's right, old man, we're eating your leg."
Laughing like crazy,
and he just laughs. He goes, "You're eating tainted meat, you fuckers," and which made them like have a problem with it. So yeah, I don't know that eating tainted cooked meat means anything in that universe either.
Okay, I was just seeing if they had established a rule there, but it doesn't seem like they did.
Right.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
That's the end of the spoilers. Oh, okay. I thought you were just leaving me hanging there.
Yeah, one last time, if this is the last thing you listen to, check out book.baldmove.com for a free preview of my Walking Dead Survival Guide book on Amazon.
Cool. Sounds good. We'll see you guys next week.